All right, so today we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting.
Yeah,
If you've been keeping up with cybersecurity at all, you know that it's a field that's always changing, right?
absolutely.
Always new threats and always, uh, you know, new technologies trying to get one step ahead.
Yep.
You sent us this thesis from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and it
Yeah.
really grabbed our attention.
Really fascinating stuff.
They're looking at how AI could change how we approach cybersecurity.
Specifically, large language models and knowledge graphs,
Yeah, that's what we're diving into today.
right?
How these things work, what they're good at, where they might fall short.
Yeah, we'll see how they do head to head.
We're looking into the future of cybersecurity.
And you might be surprised at some of the results.
I'm always up for surprises.
Good.
So let's start with the LLMs.
Sure.
We're talking about AI that can analyze threats, that can uh, come up with solutions,
Right.
even write code.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar with ChatGPT.
Most people are these days.
It can generate all sorts of text, but imagine that power harnessed for cybersecurity.
That's a good way to think about it. The researchers tested some of the most advanced LLMs,
Oh, wow.
including GPT-4 and Anthropic's Claude.
Okay, so are these like the cybersecurity superheroes?
Not quite.
Okay.
They're very fast and adaptable,
Okay.
but their knowledge can sometimes be a little general.
Okay.
Imagine asking it to explain a specific vulnerability.
Yeah.
It might need a little extra context files to give you a really precise answer.
So it's like you need to give it the right clues before it can solve the case.
That's a good analogy.
Okay.
And this actually leads to one of the more intriguing parts of this research.
Right.
They tested a locally run version of the Llama model.
Okay, why is that interesting?
Well, it shows that there's potential for on-premise AI,
Okay.
meaning no reliance on the cloud or anything like that.
Oh, so you're keeping that data secure in an house.
Exactly. Could be a big change for sensitive cybersecurity operations.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got LLMs, which are kind of like the generalists,
Right.
but then we have these knowledge graphs.
Right.
What are those all about?
Well, think of a knowledge graph as a database that's built specifically for cybersecurity information.
Oh.
Very structured, very precise.
So if LLMs are like having a cybersecurity expert on call,
Yeah.
what's the equivalent for a knowledge graph?
It's like having access to a massive cybersecurity library where everything is perfectly categorized and cross-referenced.
So you can ask it very specific questions
Right.
and get very specific answers.
Yes. For example, they asked it things like, when was this CVE entry last modified?
Oh, wow. Okay, so very granular detail.
Very granular detail. And on those questions, it blew the LLMs out of the water.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it was much better at that.
Much better. But if you ask it something outside of cybersecurity,
Mm-hmm.
it would be completely lost.
Like what?
What's the capital of Uzbekistan?
Okay, so it's a specialist.
Very much a specialist.
Okay, I see. So we have these two very different approaches to cybersecurity with AI.
Right.
And if you want to figure out which one is better, you need a way to compare them.
Of course.
Right, objectively.
Right. Well, here's where the researchers got really creative.
Okay.
They built an automated evaluation system using GPT-4.
Hold on, AI grading AI?
That's right.
That's pretty meta.
It is pretty meta. They fed it a set of questions,
Okay.
the correct answers, and the responses from each model.
Okay.
And GPT-4 judged those responses
Oh, wow.
as correct or incorrect.
So it's not just finding the right answer, it's
Yeah.
evaluating how well the other AI is doing.
Exactly.
That's incredible. It really opens up a lot of possibilities.
It does.
So we've got our contenders.
Right.
We have a way to judge them.
Uh-huh.
But in cybersecurity, speed is critical.
It's essential.
Every second counts when you're dealing with a threat.
Absolutely.
So did their research factor in response time?
They did.
Okay.
And GPT-4 and Llama were the fastest for simple queries, less than a second.
Wow. Okay, so that's what you want.
Right.
If you're in the middle of a cyber attack,
Right.
you want something fast.
Absolutely. But Anthropic's Claude wasn't quite as fast.
Oh, really?
It has what's called rate limiting,
Okay.
which basically controls the flow of requests.
Oh, I see.
So its response times were a bit unpredictable.
So even though it's powerful,
Right.
it might not be the best choice in a high-pressure situation.
Right. It really emphasizes that you need not just speed, but reliability
Yeah, that makes sense.
when it comes to AI for cybersecurity.
Okay, so we've got these LLMs, fast and adaptable, but maybe a bit general in their knowledge.
Right.
And then these knowledge graphs,
Yeah.
incredibly precise,
Yeah.
but with a limited scope.
Uh-huh. Where does that leave us?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, the research concludes that they both have a role to play.
Okay.
It's not about one being better than the other.
Okay.
It's about using the right tool for the right job,
So almost like a dynamic duo. Yeah.
each bringing their own skills.
Exactly. And the real power comes from combining them,
Okay.
combining the adaptability of LLMs with the precision of knowledge graphs.
That's when it gets really interesting.
It does.
So you can analyze threats, find solutions incredibly fast, and then tap into this huge database?
Right.
That's incredible.
Pretty mind-blowing.
But what does it mean for the humans in cybersecurity?
That's the question everyone's asking.
Are we all going to be out of a job?
Yeah, will AI take over or will humans become partners with it?
Yeah, that's a question for a whole other deep dive. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's more likely that AI will augment human capabilities,
Okay.
not replace them entirely.
So more like AI-powered partners,
Exactly.
helping us to stay ahead of the threats.
That's the idea. But it does raise questions about what skills cybersecurity professionals will need.
That's true. We've covered a lot. But let's recap.
For sure.
What are some of the key points we've discussed? Well, the biggest takeaway is that the battle for cybersecurity is increasingly being fought with AI.
Absolutely.
Tools like LLMs and knowledge graphs are at the forefront.
And they're only in their early stages.
That's right.
We're just scratching the surface.
Lots of research and development happening.
So we've talked about the basics, how they're used, the strengths, the limitations.
Right.
But we also need to talk about the impact on humans.
Absolutely.
It's been fascinating exploring this topic.
Likewise.
Gives us a clearer picture of this world of AI in cybersecurity.
It's a rapidly evolving world.
It is. I think we've all got a lot to think about. But before we move on to part 2, I have one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked about hybrid systems that combine LLMs and knowledge graphs.
Right.
But what about other types of AI?
Interesting.
Could we see machine learning algorithms or neural networks joining this fight?
That's a great question.
I think the possibilities are endless.
They are.
Researchers are probably exploring those avenues right now.
Yeah, I bet they are. It's a captivating field for sure.
So to all of you listening, stay curious, keep exploring,
Yeah.
and join us for part 2
Where we'll delve even deeper.
into this world of AI and cybersecurity.
Absolutely. So it's really fascinating to see how these different AI systems,
Yeah,
approach the challenges of cybersecurity.
yeah,
LLMs, with their language training,
Uh-huh.
they can tackle all sorts of tasks.
yeah. What kinds of things are we talking about?
We're talking about analyzing malware code,
Oh, wow.
generating phishing detection rules,
Okay.
even helping to write more secure code.
So they're like a whole team of cybersecurity specialists all rolled into one.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
But their real strength, I think, is their ability to learn and adapt.
Okay.
The more data you give them,
Yeah.
the better they get at understanding these threats
Okay.
and figuring out ways to counter them.
So you mentioned earlier, though,
Ah.
that sometimes they need some extra context to
Yeah.
give really precise answers.
Right.
What does that look like in practice?
Sure. Let's say you have a security log file
Yeah.
filled with all these cryptic entries.
Yeah.
An LLM might be able to flag some suspicious activity,
Okay.
but without more information, it might struggle to understand the full context.
So what kind of extra information would we need to give it then?
It depends on the situation.
Right.
You might need to tell it about your network architecture,
Okay.
the types of systems you're using,
Okay.
known vulnerabilities.
Right. So it's like giving a detective all the background info on the case.
Right.
The more clues they have, the better they can understand the situation.
Perfect analogy.
Okay.
And that's what makes this web application and research so interesting,
Okay.
because it allows you to upload context files,
Oh, wow.
like PDFs,
Oh.
Word docs, even plain text.
So the AI can use all of that.
It uses all of that to give a more complete analysis.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's talk about knowledge graphs.
Sure.
You describe them as these specialized databases.
Yeah.
What kind of information do they actually contain?
Think of it as this big web of interconnected entities and relationships,
Okay.
all related to cybersecurity.
Okay.
So it might have information about known vulnerabilities,
Uh-huh.
like those listed in the CVE database,
Okay.
or details about malware families,
Got it.
different attack techniques, even security best practices.
So it's almost like a giant map of cybersecurity knowledge?
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's structured in a way that makes it very easy to find information.
Okay.
You ask specific questions, you get specific answers.
I'm seeing how powerful this could be.
It is.
But how do you even build a knowledge graph? Where does all that data come from?
It's a complex process.
Okay.
It often involves combining data from many different sources.
Okay, so where are the sources?
Well, you might have security experts curating information.
Okay.
You can also use automated techniques to extract knowledge
From where?
from text documents,
Okay.
research papers, even those security logs we talked about.
So you're putting together all these separate pieces,
Oh.
like a jigsaw puzzle,
It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
to create this picture of the cybersecurity landscape.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay, I see it now.
And once you have that knowledge graph in place,
Yeah,
it's incredibly powerful.
I can see that. But I'm trying to imagine how you would use these systems
Right.
in the real world.
Sure.
What are some examples?
Let's say you're a security analyst investigating a data breach.
Okay.
You could use an LLM to analyze those log files we talked about,
Okay.
looking for suspicious activity.
Okay.
Then you could take those findings and put them into a knowledge graph,
Uh-huh.
see if there are any known vulnerabilities that match.
Oh, so it's a two-pronged approach.
Exactly.
The LLM finds those needles in the haystack,
Right.
and the knowledge graph helps you understand what they mean.
You got it.
Okay, that's cool. But I'm also curious about the limitations.
Of course.
Is there anything they just can't do?
Well, as with any AI, there are limitations.
Okay.
LLMs, for example, can sometimes generate responses that sound plausible, but aren't correct.
Oh, so you can't just trust what it's telling you.
You can't just blindly trust it.
Okay.
You need human expertise
Right.
to interpret the results
Okay.
and to make decisions.
And what about knowledge graphs then? What are their limitations?
Well, their strength is their structure,
Uh-huh.
but that can also be a weakness.
Okay.
If you ask it a question that's outside its scope,
Yeah.
it might not be able to give you an answer.
So it's like an encyclopedia that's very detailed on some topics.
Right.
But blank on others.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
So you need to understand both the strengths and the limitations.
Right. Use the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the technical stuff.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the human side of things.
Sure.
How do you see these technologies impacting cybersecurity professionals?
Well, I think AI will fundamentally change the way these professionals work.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it will necessarily replace jobs,
Oh.
but it will change the skills that are required.
So what kind of skills are we talking about here? What's going to be important in this new world?
Well, I think critical thinking skills are going to be more important than ever.
Okay.
You'll need to be able to analyze the output of these systems,
Yeah.
understand the limitations,
Mm-hmm.
make informed decisions.
So it's not just about understanding the AI tools.
Right.
It's about being able to really think about what they're telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think communication skills will also be important.
Okay.
Cybersecurity professionals will need to be able to explain these concepts,
The people who don't understand the technology.
right, to non-technical audiences.
Okay.
And of course, a strong understanding of cybersecurity principles.
Yeah, you still need to know the basics.
You still need the basics.
AI can't replace that.
You can't replace all of it.
So it's not about becoming an AI expert.
Right.
It's about understanding how it fits into the bigger picture.
Precisely. And that's what's so exciting about it.
Okay.
It frees us up from these mundane tasks
Okay.
and allows us to focus on strategic thinking.
So the machines can do the boring stuff,
Right.
and the humans can focus on the big picture.
Exactly. And it creates opportunities for new roles, too,
Like what?
like an AI security analyst,
Okay.
someone who specializes in managing these AI systems,
Right.
or cybersecurity professionals with data science skills.
So you need to be adaptable.
Adaptable, willing to learn new skills,
Oh.
be open to new possibilities.
What surprised you the most about this research?
I think the thing that stood out to me the most was how fast AI is evolving.
It's really incredible.
Yeah, models like GPT-4,
Yeah,
their capabilities are amazing.
it's hard to keep up.
It is hard to keep up. It's important to stay informed,
Yeah,
engage with the technology, think critically about it.
I agree. Anything else about how the researchers did this project that stood out to you?
Well, using GPT-4 to evaluate the other models,
Yeah,
that was really innovative.
it was.
Shows how we can use AI to improve AI.
It's like AI becoming self-aware.
Right.
It's incredible and a little scary.
It is. But it has the potential to really accelerate innovation.
Yeah,
So
I think we've covered a lot of ground here,
we have
but there's still more to explore.
always more to explore.
In the final part, we're going to delve even deeper
Yeah, let's do it.
into the potential of these systems
Oh,
and talk about the future of cybersecurity.
Sounds good.
So welcome back to our deep dive into AI and cybersecurity.
Glad to be back.
You know, as we've been talking about these LLMs and knowledge graphs,
Right.
one thing that's really stood out to me
Yeah.
is how this research shows
What's that?
how AI development
Yeah.
is really iterative.
That's a great point.
What do you mean by that?
Well, building an AI system
Mm-hmm.
It's not just flipping a switch.
Okay.
It's a constant cycle
Of what?
of testing,
Okay.
evaluating,
Yeah.
refining, improving.
So you're always learning and making the AI better. And this research really shows that
Yeah.
using GPT-4 to judge the other models,
Right.
you're using AI to improve AI.
It's pretty amazing.
It's like this feedback loop of innovation.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that feedback loop is essential.
Yeah. Why is that?
If we want to see progress,
Yeah.
cybersecurity threats are always changing.
Right.
Our AI systems have to keep up.
So for all the cybersecurity professionals out there,
Uh-huh.
what's the takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway
Okay.
is that AI is becoming essential in cybersecurity.
Okay.
It's not about replacing humans.
Right.
It's about giving us better tools.
To deal with these threats.
Right, to stay ahead of them.
So it's not AI versus humans.
No.
It's AI and humans working together.
Exactly. Like a partnership
Okay.
where AI does the heavy lifting, like
Yeah.
analyzing all that data,
Yeah.
and humans do the strategic thinking.
The decision making.
Right.
Finding that synergy.
Right. And for cybersecurity professionals,
Yeah.
it's a shift in mindset.
In what way?
Being open to new technology,
Okay.
learning new skills,
Yeah.
understanding the limitation.
So it's adapting to this new reality.
It is. That's one of the things that makes this field so exciting.
Yeah, you're always learning.
Always learning, always growing.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
We've gone from the technical details
Yeah.
to the big picture implications.
It's been a journey.
It has been. I think you've left us with a feeling of excitement,
Yeah.
but also caution.
Right.
Excitement about the possibilities, but also caution about the risks
You have to be careful.
and responsible development.
It's a powerful technology.
It is.
It could change everything.
We just have to approach it wisely.
I agree.
So, on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap up.
Okay.
To everyone listening, thank you for joining us
Thanks for listening.
on this exploration of AI and cybersecurity.
Yeah.
We hope you learned something
I hope so.
and keep exploring this field.
It's a fascinating field.
It is. Until next time,
Yeah.
stay curious
Be informed.
and stay safe.
Bye.